Does Osaka really deserve the name of food capital of Japan?
From crowded tourist hotspots to hidden takoyaki stands, Osaka has something for every foodie.
Follow us while we visit small izakayas and stumble upon a craft beer festival in the backyard of Osaka Castle. And if you're looking for even more recommendations for your trip to Japan, check out our Japan playlist for more epic food, beer, and things to do. By the way, we just recently launched our own taste and travel newsletter. If you want to stay up to date, find the sign up link in the description box below. Hello there, original travelers. Welcome to another video of ours, and in this one we are going to show you the best experiences, things to do, food and drinks in the food capital of Japan, in Osaka.
Don't forget to stay until the end to see a great food stand with takoyaki and, very likely, without a line.
Cheers, everyone. When we arrived at Osaka Station, we quickly found out why this city is the place for food and drinks in Japan, because we were greeted by a sake festival directly in front of the train station. Oh, sake!
Sadly, we couldn't join because we just didn't want to drink with our suitcases.
It took us a bit longer than expected to get through the crowd to our hotel. I mean, we knew that our hotel was central, but we didn't know it was that central. It was located in the heart of Dotonbori. Dotonbori is like Osaka's Broadway, but instead of theaters, you're surrounded by neon signs and amazing street food. Pro tip, always look up. There might be a giant crab waving at you.
And don't miss the tempura, baby. After we finally fought through the crowd, it was time to start exploring.
First stop, obviously, the Pokémon Center. We were on the hunt for the original 151 Pokémon cards, but sadly once again we were not successful.
But it looks like Sandro succeeded in finding a beer.
Does this really surprise you? And you obviously can't miss the Glico Man, even though I found the giant Manekineko way more impressive.
On the way to our first beer spot, we walked through Amerikamura, an entertainment district famous as a hangout spot for young people in Osaka.
Okay, so this beer place has been on my beer bucket list for a long time, and I was so happy to finally visit it. I'm talking, of course, about West Coast Brewing's Dark Lab. West Coast Brewing is actually located in Shizuoka, but they have several tap rooms across the country, and one of them is the Dark Lab here in Osaka.
In this place, I particularly enjoyed the West Coast IPAs, as they were not as bitter as usual, and of course the triple barrel aged barley wine.
And not only our dessert here was really sweet, also most of the hazies here had a lot of residual sugars and had this really nice body and a lot of tropical flavors. And the best thing is, they have plenty of cans for takeaway, so you can bring some beery souvenirs home.
On our way home, we had the genius idea to try and create the newest Femichiki trend. However, it didn't work out as we hoped.
Yeah, you can definitely see that we enjoyed those beers at West Coast Brewing. The next morning, we wanted to try some typical Osaka food, which is takoyaki. Sadly, most of the stands we saw had huge lines in front of them, so we did a little bit of a research.
Just off the main foodie street, there is Akaoni, a fantastic takoyaki place that was mentioned in the Guide Michelin.
They used to be more in the center, but now they moved to this more quiet side alley, and since then, there are basically no lines here.
The locals really enjoy asking foreigners if they burn themselves when they ate takoyaki. There is a reason for that. And when you do eat it, do not disappoint them.
Hi guys. So you're going to be live with me here tasting some of the takoyaki we are tasting here in Osaka. It's a famous dish. Cool thing is there are so many takoyaki stands around this area here in Dotonbori. But if you cross into the right side alley, you will find one without a line. And so did we. This one was even mentioned in the Guide Michelin. And let's see if it's true. We already tried some of them. And
you're now going to taste with me the ones with the tartar sauce, sweet tartar sauce, which I think is a more special thing and not so traditional, but let's see if it's tasty. So takoyakis are balls made out of flour and, most importantly, octopus. So cheers, everyone. So they're really chewy, really soft as well. The tartar sauce is really interesting. It's really not what we in Europe would consider tartar sauce. It's quite sweet, quite thick, quite creamy, but really intense from the flavor. The other flavors we had were some with sweet soy sauce and the one with ponzu sauce, and especially the one with the green onion was, I think, my favorite. I like this one as well, but the green onion one is definitely my favorite. So come here and check this place out.
Now, off to our next adventure. The night before, we picked up a flyer about a beer festival in the West Coast Brewing taproom, and this festival happened to be exactly during our stay, so we obviously had to go.
It also happened to be in the park next to the Osaka castle, which provided for a great opportunity for a nice walk and sightseeing.
And aren't these the cutest tasting glasses you've ever seen in your life?
Spoiler alert, they did make it home.
We tried many good beers from breweries all over Japan. It was especially cool that there were even breweries from the islands of Iki and Okinawa. Not something you get a chance to try every day.
I have to mention the fish tempura here because it was mind-blowing.
The festival is called Craft Beer Holiday. It usually lasts for 4 days and always happens around mid-October.
Hey there, OG travelers. Once again, us here from Osaka this time. Yeah, really great city. After we've been to Kyoto, which is a bit smaller, it's like half the population of the city. We're once again back to like a big city, and it feels a lot bigger for us at the moment than actually Tokyo, because in Tokyo it kind of spreads out a little bit, and here it's more concentrated. So for the food places here, because it's the food capital of Japan actually, there are a lot of queues, so you really have to do your reservations or find some places that don't have queues. We have a lot of cool places in this video that you can check out. And yeah, also obviously from me, like the beer scene here is really cool. They have cool beer bars that are local, and sometimes they have beer bars from breweries that are in other cities. Like the West Coast Brewing that you will see in this video, really good place. So you should definitely check that out.
Yes, if you're a foodie, Osaka is definitely the place for you to go to. But do be prepared that it's going to have this really big city vibe. Dotonbori, where you usually have a lot of food stands, is really crowded and very there's a lot of lights everywhere. Yeah. So it might be a little bit overwhelming. Do be prepared about that. You might want to try to steer clear from the bigger crowds and try to go a little bit more on the side streets. Yeah, we'll show you also great izakaya experience in this video. I think probably one of the best cities to experience this. So stay until the end.
And yeah, and be prepared for a lot of dogs. We have a lot of dogs here, really cute. And also, yeah, the center might be crowded, but it's actually like sometimes you just walk 10 minutes or even less to one direction, and it's gonna be a bit less crowded. But they also have a lot of culture here. We saw a sake festival when we arrived, basically at the train station, and also we just went to a beer festival we didn't know about that was just randomly here, which was great. And right now we're walking through a park in Osaka Castle, and there's some kind of music festival going on. So yeah, there's a lot of things to explore here. So cheers, everyone.
At the end of our walk, we were rewarded with a very nice view of the castle. We recommend the Gokurakubashi Bridge for interesting photo angles. Once again, we see the contrast between tradition and innovation in Japan.
To learn a bit more about the nightlife in Osaka, we booked ourselves on a nightlife and izakaya tour in the backstreets of Osaka.
We've been looking forward to this experience since we started planning our Japan trip. If we hadn't joined it, we would have never seen the real face of Osaka. It really flourishes in the small hidden streets. And don't be afraid to go off the beaten path, aka the main streets like Dotonbori. During this tour we also learned about something typical about Osaka. They have a very direct style of communication and they also really cherish the sense of humor of people. For example, if your date is not funny, they just won't make the cut.
Our guide did a really good job showing us some hidden gem bars that we probably wouldn't have found without her. But we have to say our experience wasn't the best, but this was not because of the experience or the guide, but our group that we had that night was actually pretty boring.
I mean, if you're not a foodie or a drinky, why do you want to go to a foodie and drinky tour?
You want to know what we mean by boring? So basically, all of them left before we even reached the last spot of the tour, which was actually the highlight of this tour. I only say 3 things: vinyl records, huge selection of whiskey, and cowboy hats. And because we are what Simona called foodies and drinkies, we obviously after the tour had to go to another beer bar. We're not sure how to exactly pronounce this place, but I will try it with Arca-Archa. Anyway, about the name, the place says on the website that it means cheers in a parallel universe. Probably.
You can choose your beers on a tablet and they had some very exciting options like an ale with chamomile and lavender.
And if you guys visit that place, find the guest book, and if you send us a picture of our sticker of Zurich beer tour in the place, we will buy you a beer the next time we meet.
Talking about Zurich beer tour, you can find the link to book a tour with us in the description box below.
Me too, Oven. Me too.
And after some great conversations with ovens and beer lamps, it was time for some taiyaki.
They can actually swim.
And now round 2 of our new show, find the new konbini food trend. Once again, not very successful. And Simona finally got the chance to try the product that made her home country of Bulgaria famous in Japan: yogurt. On our last day, we started with a small snack on Dotonbori and then went to see something really special.
We wanted to visit the Sayamaike Museum at the outskirts of Osaka. It's about the history of civil engineering and flood control. And it's an architectural wonder by Tadao Ando. The museum is very nice from the outside, but we were not awesomely lucky to see it from the inside because we did not realize we were trying to visit it on a Tuesday after a public holiday. And it was unfortunately very closed.
So, considering the topic of the museum and our bad luck, I can only say, damn museum. You know, damn like flood control.
Our distress meant that instead of great architecture, we had to enjoy a supermarket haul.
You might wonder why we found this so exciting. It's a bit difficult to find actual supermarkets other than like konbinis in Japan.
Museum broken hearted, we found comfort in stocking up the essentials. Yuzu pepper, QP, castella cake, you name it, we got it.
And after some last sweets and takoyaki, we packed our bags and made our way to the airport. Next stop, Seoul, South Korea. If you don't want to miss it, don't forget to subscribe.
Thank you so much for watching. We hope you enjoyed this video from Osaka in Japan.
And now, as usual, guys, don't forget to like and subscribe and follow us for more videos from Japan and around the world. Cheers, everyone!
Our bonus tip for Osaka is Kix beer. This beer place at the airport in Osaka has really nice selection of different craft beers that are brewed really close to the airport. However, we would not really recommend eating there as the food is a little bit too expensive for what you get.